Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm here today with something a little different. In my last video, I had a knife that was unusually expensive for one of my reviews. Because I don't really do $500 or $1,000 knives or anything like that. I usually don't even do knives that cost like over $100 because it's really not in the budget. What I have here is kind of a little more my speed and something I think a lot of other people will appreciate. It's kind of very, very inexpensive knives. The knives I'm going to show you are not fancy knives. They are not expensive knives. They're not the best quality in their field or anything like that. What they are is some pretty nice looking knives that are made by Imperial Schrade. And they cost on Amazon, the ones you see on the table right now are probably between about $6 and $9. The price fluctuates a little bit, from day to day. Not too much because it's not really that big a price, but about $6 to $9. They look pretty good. The finish is pretty good in the hand, and they actually come kind of sharp to fairly sharp. The blades tend to be just regular stainless steel, nothing fancy. They're kind of like an imitation plastic celluloid handle, but they do look pretty cool. So I have mainly compliments for these. They do have one humongous drawback, but I'll get to that in a second. So I generally have a very positive view of these knives, but my view is positive based on the price they cost me. If I had, like for example, this knife right here is an Imperial SodBuster. And I bought this for $6.99 on Amazon about a week or so ago. And I think it's a pretty cool knife. Like I said, it came fairly sharp. I stropped it a few times, and it's got a decent edge on it. Now, this is not a case. A case SodBuster, you probably start at about $40 or so, $45, and they'd go up from there. Something like Boker, again, might cost you $40 or $50, then you're kind of going up from there. This is a $6.99 knife, so I'd like to keep that in mind while I'm telling you about it, and then while you're watching this. So you might say, well, that's not that great. Well, I think it's pretty good for $7. Now, compared to, like, say, a case or a Boker, I'd rather have the case or the Boker. But for what it is, it's not bad. And I also want to put a little bit of a variety here, so kind of like some traditional pocket knives. These are all slip joint knives. Nothing locks back. They all have nail nicks. These are all stainless steel. And this is just a single blade. And like I said, it was $6.99. I kind of got interested in these because I'm not a fan of Schrade. I have one Schrade knife, and it stinks. But the old Imperial Knife Company was actually in the city I was born in, Providence, Rhode Island. And a long time ago, I guess they moved out. Maybe they went overseas or they combined. I'm not sure exactly. I don't think they've been around in my lifetime actually in business in the city. But the building is still there. They actually turned it into condominiums a very long time ago. But I thought it was cool that a company that had its genesis in the city of my birth is still making knives, even if it's just for another company. I believe Imperial was bought by Schrade, which was bought by another company. But still, the name's hanging around, and I thought that was pretty cool. So this is the SodBuster. This one here is one of the cheapest Barlow knives I could find. I bought this because I wanted an example of a Barlow knife. So we have the larger blade, which is about maybe 2 inches. Just hold on one second. I'll get the trusty old Stanley tape measure. Also a local company. So, yeah, let's see. About maybe two and a quarter inches, maybe. Whole thing is about 6 inches, and the SodBuster here has let's see, almost a 3-inch blade, and maybe about 2 5/8 cutting edge, and about 6.5 overall. You can see that, put that a little bit better. So I wanted a nice example of a Barlow knife. If you've watched a lot of my videos, you know I'm a big Boker fan, and I might pick up one of those. And I'm also really, really starting to like case knives a lot, so I wouldn't mind picking up a nice example of a case. Now here is another one. We have an example here of, let's put it here so we have the label up. This is an Imperial Stockman. As you can see, we have a spay, a small sheep's foot, and I think that might be a drop point blade. So we have the handle length here of about maybe about 3 1/3 inches, roughly 3 1/3 inches, nickel bolsters. The blades are pretty small. I would say this is, and again, this is, I'm just going to measure from the point to the top of the handle. We're looking at about maybe 1 3/4 there, and drop points, say 2 3/4 inches. And the sheep's foot, we'll do the cutting edge on this one. It's about 1 3/4. Nice looking handles. And like I said, it came fairly sharp. So you got fairly sharp stainless steel blades, and you know, looks pretty cool. And again, this was about $7, give or take. It might have been like $1 more or $1 less, because I kind of lost track because I bought them over a period of time. I'm saving this one for last. And this is just your traditional trapper right here. So handle lengths are about the same. This one's a little bit longer though. This is about 3 7/8 inches for this handle. And the blade from, let's say, from handle to the tip of the blade is just about 3 inches. And that's the spay. And then we have a drop point in here. I don't have the drop point out right now. And I have had the drop point out, but I will get to why I don't in a second. And I'll tell you about the really bad thing about these knives that is not good. But I'll save that for a minute or two. And finally, my favorite one of the bunch is a Congress knife. And the reason why this is my favorite is because I just like the whole concept of Congress knives. On this one, we'll measure the handle out. And the handle comes out at just about 3 1/2 inches. And then we have two identical sheep's foot blades here. And these are about 2 1/4 inches apiece, as you can tell. And then there is a coping blade here. So a little over 1 3/4 there. Okay. And this blade's about 1 3/4. And I know that this doesn't have multiple tools on it. I know it's only 4 blades, and I know 2 of the blades are the same, but I kind of almost like to think of this as like the 19th century Leatherman. I know it's strange, it's weird, it doesn't really make any sense, but I just think it's so cool that you had different knives there for different purposes, and if you were doing a lot of heavy work, you could back it up with another blade. And then, as I had said before, these knives are very reasonable. This is, again, like maybe $8 or $9 for this. The handle doesn't look too bad. Got your brass pins, nickel bolsters. I love this one. I actually have another one that I picked up recently, a Congress knife. It's a Boker, and it has the jigged bone handles. Very, very nice knife. And you know what? You can tell if you were blindfolded and you're opening them and using them, you can tell there's a difference in them. But I paid $35. I got a good price on that one. That's usually about a $40, and I got it for $35. And you can tell there's a difference, absolutely. If I had paid $40 for this and got this in the mail, I'd be a little disappointed. $40 for that Boker, I'd pay it all day and I'd be satisfied with it. But for the price, and keep those 3 words in mind, these are pretty decent knives. Now, you do need to work on them. One thing you need to do is you need to probably strop the blades a little bit. I didn't find that they needed any major profiling work, but stropping them was very, very handy. The other thing is, with this one right here, I told you I had opened both blades before. This one's giving me a little trouble. They are extremely hard to open. I've noticed that they've gotten better, but when you first get them, it's kind of... I had read reviews on Amazon, and the reviews, almost everyone said, these things are really hard to open. And I found that some of that has to do with the blade profiles, like on the Congress knife. The sheep's foot blades will pop out a little bit when they're closed, so it's easier to get a grip on the blade and take them out. So the nail nick kind of helps you take it out, but you're kind of gripping it with your fingers. Whereas with some of the other ones, the nail nick is really the primary way to take it out because the blade sticks so far in the handle. What I've done is I've tried to kind of open and close them repeatedly, and that's done a little bit to work them in. They're a little more manageable. And I've also bought some knife oil. I put some knife oil in the joints. I've worked that in, and that's helped a little bit. But I think that probably time would be the best thing. So that is really the only major negative. The other thing too is probably under, I don't know how these would hold up under heavy usage. I wouldn't think that they'd hold up really, really well under heavy usage, like say like for wood carving and things like that. But I don't really do wood carving. It would just kind of be for basic household tasks and stuff. Plus the other thing is I have several knives of both, cheap, kind of cheap, and moderate price. So I kind of cycle through them a lot. So whereas someone who used, let's say like, one of these knives, let's say you use this knife every single day. Well, yours might wear out a lot faster than mine because I might only use it like a few times a month. Because I might be using my other Congress knife. Maybe I'll use a Trapper. Maybe I'll use a Stockman. Maybe I'll just have some ultra cool tactical knife. I don't know. It depends what the day brings. So that's another thing. But like I said, if you are a knife collector and you're not somebody who's hung up on real high quality, and you just kind of want a fun, cool-looking knife that kind of has like some historical, some kind of like, I don't even want to say historical, but kind of a good example of what things were like years ago. These are really a good thing to look at. So check them out. Just type in, Imperial knives on Amazon. And again, I have no links in the description. I do not have an Amazon store. If you buy the knife, I make not 2 cents off it. I'm just kind of throwing it out there because I wasn't familiar with these knives, a while back. It just kind of recently that I became aware of them. So check them out. Do what I did. I just bought one. I didn't go buying like 5 of them because they might have been like really, really crappy. But just pick one up. Pick one you like the best. I would go with the Congress knife. That's just me though. Well, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.